Yeehaw! Howdy, y'all. We're back here on the Drinking Horn Meadcast.
Meadcast.
Welcome to this episode. This is the Mead Hall Creation Part 3. Part Trace. Part... What did Vikings call 3?
Oh. 3. 2 more fingers than I got.
Oh, Lars. Yeah, we're here. We got this episode series kind of wrapping up. I don't know. There might be a Part 4.
I think there probably will be, considering how darn long this has taken us.
It is. So the difference between...
Part 17 of the creation of the Mead Hall. We're still at it.
We might open.
Maybe.
Yeah. What's the reason behind the separation between Part 2 and Part 3?
Corona? I mean, that's a huge part of it.
You got drunk?
Well, that too. There was that. That's why my thumb hurts so much.
Oh, that's got to be a story eventually. We'll tell. But yeah, Corona. Yeah, we've been sitting in this quarantine. Businesses are shut down-ish to go kind of craziness. And so Mead Hall was not expected, but thought to be open in April.
Yeah.
Early April at that.
We're recording this in early May.
Yeah.
Still not open. We still actually don't even have any date given to us of when we can open. Restaurants here in Flagstaff are opening up for some dine-in service on Monday. It's Saturday right now.
So, almost.
Yeah.
It's actually Sunday.
What?
It's Mother's Day here. So, yeah, drink some more coffee, Evan. And you can see Evan, you can see the Mead Hall, you can see us right now if you go to our YouTube channel. We are putting this up on as a video, and so if you want a little... It's not going to be a sneak peek by the time this goes up.
No.
I'm not going to post this until the Mead Hall is done, but if you want a peek and you are someone who hasn't come to the Mead Hall yet, you can see it. I mean, there's painting stuff everywhere. I mean, it's not like...
We're still not like done. We're not turnkey, as County Health would call it.
No, we're not quite there yet, but you can take a look on, like I said, the YouTube channel, Drinking Horn Meadery. Please go to that, and if you want to subscribe and click on the little bell, ding, you'll get notified whenever this motley crew puts another video up. And they're
We've
usually
been a little
fun.
slow. We know. We're sorry.
Yeah.
We'll get more content. Don't you worry, folks.
Yeah, other things going on. Yeah, Mead Hall Creation Part 3. So we are actually sitting this time in the Mead Hall.
Yeah, and it's like Mead Hall-y. Like we're sitting kind of in the middle of a 26-foot long table.
Is it 26 feet?
Yeah, I think
Cool.
so.
Nice.
Something like that.
Yeah, this big, long... I think the Vikings were all about like things that are like long and narrow. They had...
Just sounds so phallic.
Yeah. It's meant to.
Yeah.
That's because it's meant to.
Oh, I'm awake. No,
No, they had those boat houses also. I forget the
longhouse.
The longhouse. Yeah, they had those. So this is a big, long table we're sitting at right now. And this is going to be where... I think a lot of people are going to meet each other and mead each other.
Yeah, because that's something that we loved about like our micro tap room that we had at the front of the production was that it was very much like a community space. Like you didn't go in there and drink by yourself, like never. It became like a little miniature party. Yeah, everybody's talking to everybody, solving world problems and so forth. And so, and we wanted to continue that here. We have a lot more space,
just a smidge.
Just a little bit more space here, but we still wanted to be able to have that sort of like, community sort of orientation.
Yeah, that you call it a micro tap room. That one over there, you were a community, whether you liked it or not.
Yeah, that's true. So in the light of all this pandemic, everything going on, it's nice to have a little bit more space. Our previous tap room, like we wouldn't have even been able to open it back up, basically. You could have put one person and the bartender in there, and then you're capped out.
Yeah, your 6 foot radius is done.
2 people, they can stay 6 feet apart, and that's it.
Let's kind of talk about this space, because the other 2 episodes we were at the actual meadery and this hadn't been built out yet. Now we've got it going. Tell us about some of the projects, because most of this is there's a good amount of this spot that's built by hand by you and a couple other people. So let us in on some of these different features that we see.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I'm going to describe it. Sorry, YouTube people, you're just going to have to listen. But like, there's these big pillars that kind of reach up and over, posts 7 down each side, and they reach up and over to a center beam that runs all the way down the ceiling. And that's where all these chandeliers are hung from and stuff. And then on the posts themselves, we did these, they're called keyless light fixtures. And we mounted those up. It just allows a light fixture to be kind of sitting horizontal on the wall there. And then we got all these helmets from all kinds of different time periods, replicas. We can't afford to put original helmets on the walls.
Not yet.
Give me a while. But so it's all these replicas of helmets, Sutton Hoo mask, all this other stuff, and some more mythological than others. And we mounted that on top of these keyless light fixtures, and then use these flame LED bulbs, so it looks like there's a fire inside of each helmet.
Yeah, absolutely rad. If you are listening to the podcast, go over to YouTube and take a look, or I'm sure we'll have posted some photos on Instagram, Facebook, because the way these helmets are set, it looks like there's a fire underneath them. And with the lights down low and these things flaming, it's like a time period change.
It is. Like you walk off of downtown Flagstaff and the hubbub and the noise and the train, and then you step into a hall in Valhalla. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
All the wood's all local too. All the Ponderosa, it's all this wood that's in here is all Ponderosa pine from right around here.
Really?
You can tell by the warping.
So, yeah, Ponderosa.
We're kind of dry here in the desert. I think it was like 7% humidity this morning.
On a good day?
Yeah, on a wet day. Yeah. So wood dries out here. It's fun.
Yeah, but these posts that go up and then they have these kind of angles and notches, it does look like what you had described before, I think in the last episode, that it was going to be like a boat upside down.
Yeah, totally. It's like the hull of a boat upside down.
Yeah. And it just, I'll tell you, when you turn the lights down low and you step into my arms,
step into my big Viking arms,
just comes upon me in my beard.
I promise not to hurt you with my sword.
I promise to not hurt. Is that a gun digging into my hip? Your gun is digging into my hip.
No, it really is. It just is.
Yeah. What was I saying? When you turn the lights down low, it really brings that together. The wood features and the chandeliers, those are really, really cool too.
Aren't they cool?
Yeah, and there was a little bit of deciding that was going on between these and what were the other ones?
They were a little more modern looking. It was like that. Every meadery out there loves to like rep. I mean, we all should. We all like to rep the honeycomb and stuff. But it's also something that like gets kind of played out a little bit. And that's what we were looking at before with the chandeliers, was like the honeycomb chandeliers. And it was like, it just wasn't going to end up working. It's hard. That's one of the hardest things that we found, was like, this is our first time getting blueprints drawn up. And so it's like, they're like, all right, where do you want to put this, power outlet? And you're like, well, I don't know, here. And they're like, how many inches high? You're like, well, I don't know. How many inches over? You're like, well, and so you kind of start giving random numbers, because you're like, well, we'll figure it out when we get there. We'll figure it out when we get there. We'll figure it out when we get there. And then all of a sudden you get there and you're like, why the hell is there a power socket right next to my sink under my soap dispenser? Like, damn it. How did this work? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I want to put, a TV on this wall here, because we're going to do like a faux stone, or actually it might end up being real stone, but like a stone fireplace looking thing with a faux fireplace, just a TV with the old flame app burning away, fireplace app, I don't know, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
We'll look it up. But same thing with that. And we were like, oh, we want to put this. And then we ended up with this socket like right in the center of the wall. Hey,
yeah.
If you heard that door squeak, that's one of the gentlemen that helped us put together a whole big chunk of the bar. Ronnie's son.
That's right. We got one of the guys behind a bunch of different things at the podcast, or at the podcast at the Meadery.
He's a jack of all trades,
and he can come say what up if he wants to.
You want to come? Come on, Ronnie, come say hi.
What up, Podcast America?
Yeah, we'll talk a lot more about some of the builds that he was a part of as well, and. We now are listening.
We got through, we were talking about the things in here that were done by hand.
Yes.
I think that was the original, 8 tangents ago.
It was 7.8 tangents ago.
Yeah, and so we also built pretty much the entire bar by hand as well. The general contractor built us a pony wall. I didn't know what that was. This was another thing that they were like, yeah. I was like, well, a pony sounds pretty sturdy, right? Yeah, no. When we got in, the pony wall was like a 2x4 wall. That's what a pony wall is.
Yeah, it's not a stallion wall. It's a pony wall.
It is a little baby pony wall. And like it was wiggly, and it was just like I was looking at that, trying to rethink all my plans. And luckily, with a couple of guys and some good help, we managed to put together a pretty damn fine bar. Last night, we poured 25 gallons of epoxy on this bar.
Yeah.
That's way more than we should be doing as amateurs. It was pretty intense. We'll have videos up about all that stuff, about the build. Nick, you're going to put together a nice little build-out video montage from the pictures and stuff and everything that we've taken, and you'll be able to see a lot of that. It was crazy. Epoxy is crazy.
Epoxy is crazy. There was one point where you were like, here, feel this bucket, and it's, what, 100 and something, 108 degrees or something like that?
And the hottest it got was 310.
Yeah, not in the bucket.
Yeah, in the bucket. It got 310. It gets really hot.
Oh, I didn't know if we were supposed to say that or not.
Oh, no. My wife's over there. She's overhearing.
Yeah, so we talked about the build-out part, about the wood beams. We've got the helmets. Now the bar, we're getting into that. And describe to the people who can't see it right now or haven't seen it, because it's got a couple really unique features.
Yeah, so the facade for the bar, which is another word I had to learn. Facade. This was a lot of learning. We're always doing learning. We talk about that a lot on this podcast. Lots of learning.
We don't call them mistakes. It's learning opportunities.
Lots and lots of learning opportunities. So the facade, which is just like the fronting basically of the bar, the design is, and it's a big L-shaped bar. You can fit, pre-corona, you could fit, I don't know, almost 20 people at the bar or something like that. And we took a bunch of old bee boxes that we got from the guy that we get our honey from Mountaintop Honey, from Dennis Arp. And we got a whole bunch of these old bee boxes that were just in his burn pile. I mean, the guy has like 2,000 hives. So like he goes through boxes, and when they're trash, he just throws them into this pile and eventually gets around to burning them or dumping them or whatever.
Really?
Whatever he does.
I feel like he could sell those on eBay or something.
Get onto Etsy.
Etsy. That's the
Sell
different
it on
E word.
Etsy.
So the facade you're talking about, like kind of the part that would be down below.
Like below the bar.
Below.
Yeah, the front below the bar, and it's all these old bee boxes, and it's a whole bunch of different companies' bee boxes, because all these beekeepers, they, it's just like normal business. You buy out other companies, or you buy other companies' old stuff when they're done using it, or whatever it is. So there's like 5 or 6 different companies, bee boxes that make that up. You can tell because everybody brands their boxes.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I saw one that said like Odyssey, and then Dennis has his name on one.
Yeah,
like
yeah. And there's one with Mountaintop Honey on it. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Pretty cool. So
yeah, it looks gorgeous. So did you individually put each one of those on?
Yeah, each one, so we ended up, first you sand them until you get back down to something that's not just ugly paint, because generally people paint them white for a little bit of heat abasion.
Another fancy word. I
don't know if that's a word.
All of you who
Somebody
are
should check me
studying
on
for
that.
your SATs right now, keep track.
Yeah,
Abation.
Right? Yeah, I think it's a word. I don't know. But so we ended up, you sand them up, get all the paint off, you'd knock them all apart because they're all held together with like screws and nails and all this stuff.
Oh,
and then sometimes
this is quite a process.
Sometimes it's screws, nails, and staples all in one box. And
Screws,
you're just like,
nails, and staples.
Yeah.
Screws, nails, and staples.
It's frustration.
Everyone comes from screws, nails, and staples.
You can't get all those out with a hammer. It's hard.
I'm sorry. So you
and then put it all together.
Disassemble.
Johnny 5. Don't no disassemble Johnny 5.
You know I'm throwing that one up there.
Oh yeah, had to. But so we disassemble them and then we put them back together, sort of just linearly, I guess you could say, on the bar, and still trying to use that what is it called, the dovetail edges on them, and fit them all back together, which is kind of hard on old junky wood. But it's really cool because each one of those boxes has a history that nobody else knows besides the box. There's a lot of boxes with bullet holes and shotgun shot in it.
Oh,
and
you gotta
stuff.
show me some of those.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
See, that's going to be cool to talk to some of the customers about, like that one little tidbit that they might not know. Maybe they're just kind of sitting there by themselves having their mead, and you're like, hey, look down to your right by your right knee there. You see that little spot right there? Yeah, that's awesome.
You really hope that person got stung like a whole bunch. Don't shoot bee boxes, assholes.
Seriously.
But it's really cool. And then so we got that all the way around, and then for the top of the bar, we took our method from a Japanese method of burning the wood and then scraping all of the burnt part off, basically, until you get that back down to like, not all the way down to clean wood, but down to wood. And it's supposed to be a fireproofing method. So once you've done that to a piece of wood, it's a whole lot less likely to burn again.
Really?
Because you've already like I don't know exactly what it does. There's probably
Science.
yeah. There's like magic and science.
Yeah, I mean, we would explain, but
Magnets.
the people listening probably wouldn't get it.
Oh
so,
yeah, right. Totally. I know what I'm talking about all the time.
If you burn something, it doesn't burn again.
Yeah, it doesn't burn
That's
again
crazy.
as easily.
That's
so
kinda cool.
It's
Are you worried about that?
method? No. Oh my gosh, no. Not after putting 25 gallons of epoxy on it.
Yeah.
That stuff will light up like a birthday candle.
Ronnie, how thick is that epoxy? Quarter inch.
So 26 gallons, a quarter inch. It just starts to give you the idea of like how far. It's a big bar.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful bar. So you burn the wood. I've just posted a photo of that with this big old blowtorch. And in the background, you might be able to hear the train. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
I like that.
Downtown is so loud. Like it's just a loud place. Like you hear people walking back and forth all the time, and other businesses doing their thing, and trains and
then you're going to walk into
sirens.
here and have like the sounds. Imagine this place right now with the sounds of laughter and fun and drinking and cheersing. It's always
Brings a tear to my eye.
It does. It probably will. When you get that first night and you're like busting your butt, like flying around, making sure everything's okay. Although this is going to be a little different the way we're
It is going to be different because we're going to be doing reservations.
Yeah.
So it's, at least to start with, it's our way of best making sure that we can make sure things are clean and it was a big old truck. Make sure things are clean and make sure that, people are being safe and that we're not overcrowding the bar and that people are keeping proper social distance and everything. It's, we want to keep our customers safe. We want to keep our family safe. We want to keep our employees safe. So it's keep everyone safe. I'm just going to wrap y'all in bubble wrap.
Nice. So the bar, getting back again to the beautiful bar. So you have this torch, you burn the planks of wood, and then you said you scrape it off after that?
Yeah, and so we did two different methods of scraping to end up with like the texture that we wanted. We use a power drill first with like a wire brush bit on it and scrape off all the charcoal, like the heavy stuff. And then we went back through with just a hand brush and scraped everything by hand too, which is feeling ripped.
Yeah. Was that did you go over the whole thing with the hand brush or just hit the spots that were missed?
We hit almost everything with the hand brush. I wanted to leave a few of them looking like really, really dark so they just to have nice contrast with the other parts. But pretty much the whole thing got gone back over with the hand wire brush and just
nice. And so
I wonder if that noise will make sense without the motion. We'll find out.
It will. Yeah. And for those of you just listening and you want to take a gander at it, I'm sure there'll be some photos up on Instagram, Facebook, but also for the YouTube video of this podcast, I'll probably right now put up a picture of that bar and the bar top. So because it's gorgeous, and then the epoxy just makes it, pop. It's that. So when we're talking about epoxy, what are we talking about? Why would you do that?
So it's a two-part compound. You mix them together and you get a chemical reaction that ends up in a waterproof, durable, and depending on what you're wanting, we wanted clear, so super clear looking coat. Like it looks wet. Like it looks like there's a half inch of just wetness on the bar. And it's still kind of wet right now, but
yeah, don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
No. Yeah, and that reaction when you mix it too is definitely exothermic, aka releases heat.
Tons.
We talked about that. Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, so you've got this gorgeous bar top. Everything about it is built by you and Ronnie and Ed.
Yeah, that's right.
All three of you just busted that thing out. That's something
and all
to be
the tables
proud of.
in here. All of the shield tables are all built by us under the same sort of thing where we took something, made it look like a shield, and then we beat it up with chains and swords and chainsaw blades and everything else. And so it was pretty fun. Baseball bats, like little kids. You should have seen us. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'll post that video up. It does look, it's kind of like Office Space when they go after the fax machine. Yeah. Because you guys are just taking turns like slamming it. And you're not joking about, I saw you whipping a chain on one of them.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I really wish I would have had like a Morning Star or like a spiked ball on a chain to hit that thing with.
I thought you were talking about like the vegetarian meat burger things.
I don't even know what that is.
No,
I only know that. I just know the chained flail weapon.
Way different than a veggie burger. Than a Morning Star veggie burger. Well, you can always say that, you did have one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll pretend.
No, yeah, I'm
hoping somebody out there sends me one. That's fine.
Yeah. Send a Morning Star, not the veggie burger, but the rat-ass weapon, to, what is this address, by the way?
Well, so the address here is 108 East Route 66. That's right. All right, on Route 66. The only meadery in the world on Route 66.
Wow, 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 wow.
I'm gonna say it that way. It's
I
kind
don't
of a funny
even know
way to
what
say
the hell
it,
that
but
noise was, but
I don't know. But I'm
yeah.
so excited about
Say it
that
again.
noise.
It's so cool. Say it again.
The only meadery in the world on Route 66.
Yes.
Dun dun dun.
Or Route 66.
Route.
route.
That's one of those weird words.
Route reggae.
So yeah, we're pretty excited. I mean, it's right in the heart of downtown down here, so it's gonna be nice to be out of our storage unit.
But production's still going to be kicking butt over there.
Yeah, it just gives us more room for production over there to not have to have all this stuff over there. It just makes it a little easier. And it's we also wrapped that bar top. We wrapped it in steel. It's got 1/8-inch steel that we wrapped all the way around the bar, which you have to like heat with a blowtorch until it's red, and then like you have two people like tugging on it and another guy hammering on it, and the whole time you're also trying to not like catch the bar on fire and stuff. And it's this is a lot of work.
I'm counting how many turns. There's at least 6 on the top, and then you would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4 on this. No, 5 on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not easy. And I'm looking at the tables right now, the shield tables, and you wrapped those with metal as well in a circle.
Yeah, that was all Ed. Somehow Ed does these things by himself, and we have no idea. Like Ronnie and me and Peter fought that steel trying to wrap it around with the 3 of us. And that was just doing a corner, and somehow Ed goes and he does circles by himself.
So seriously, circles. I still don't believe it. I'm waiting for that video to see like
he never records.
No,
he never records.
No. Well, it's like a magician. You never give away your secrets.
Yeah, exactly. Ed's got so many secrets.
Yeah, he'd have a kick-ass YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he could just make stuff. He could make stuff on his YouTube channel. I mean, the work he does is amazing. Ronnie and I are the muscle of the operation.
I look at him over there, just flexing those things. Oh no. No, and so those are 2 just examples of some of the heart and soul that went into this. The helmets, I know you spent a lot of time, because the helmets, they may look simple, like you just like throw them up there on a hook, but you had to. What did you have to do to get those to actually fit up there?
Each one ends up taking like a couple. From where the general contractor left it to us, each one ended up taking probably about 3 hours to mount.
Each one of these?
Yeah, somewhere in that realm.
If you do math, that's a lot of hours.
They left us with these circle keyless on top of a square hole. And so we had to, and it was just very obvious and it didn't look good. So we ended up having to we put most of that work is just in trying to hide certain parts. So we're hiding the keyless plate, we're hiding the base plate behind it, we're hiding the mount from the helmet to the post itself. And all that takes a ton of work just so that nobody can see it, which is kind of funny to me. But so you end up we ended up drilling holes in the back of these helmets, and you find out the different qualities of metal in them pretty quick. Some are tin cans, and others are like, yeah, all right, like I would wear this. Like this you could take a hit with this for sure.
Take a I don't know, sword to the head.
Possibly. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't want to. It still hurts so much. Yeah.
So you do a lot of work that is basically so that it's unseen.
Unseen.
And so today's Mother's Day, and I just want to throw it out there that's exactly what mothers do. They do a crap ton of work that's unseen, goes unseen. So skull to the mothers out there.
Skull to the mothers. Skull to my mother for not selling me to the gypsies like she probably should have.
Yeah.
Skull.
What a life that would have been, though, huh?
I would have had more talents.
Are there still gypsies around? Probably.
I don't know. Nobody says that to their kids anymore. I never told my kids I'm going to sell them to the gypsies. There's other threats in this day and age. You're like, I will take away your cell phone.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. So another thing I wanted to talk about is just the space itself, because a lot of places in downtown, and we talked about this in another episode, but how it's a shotgun bar, how it's a long, narrow space.
Which is kind of a classic architecture building style of America, especially like early 1900s as this sort of thing was built. Like New Orleans has a lot of history with shotgun houses as well. And like
houses.
Oh. And so like it's the exact same sort of design, but it's these long kind of narrow things are relatively efficient because you can get good airflow going through them. And so it's an efficient design. So you see it a lot, and especially in older, early 1900s kind of stuff. Because this building was built like 1916, somewhere around there. And it's kind of nifty because it was like built during or right before the previous largest pandemic of the 1918, or the improperly called Spanish flu. And now it's 100 and couple years later, and we're rebuilding the place out in another pandemic.
That's crazy.
Circles, man.
That's so wacky.
Circles.
Yeah, so that's really cool. That's interesting. Not cool. It stinks that we're in a
It does
pandemic,
stink,
and
but it is interesting. It's nifty.
yeah,
Isn't that nifty?
It's something to think about.
Yeah, I thunked about it.
Yeah.
It hurts my brain.
So the space is efficient, but I'm sure there's a couple things that, that you had to think about, or basically talk to us about what you think the flow is in here.
So what we really wanted, initially, was people to be able to walk in and get shocked with that kind of wow factor. We also wanted to make sure that you can easily navigate the place. You have to make sure everything is ADA accessible these days, which is a good thing to do. So the flow is pretty nice because it's going to be kind of like two eddies. If you're familiar with rivers, as a river goes down and it spins outwards at certain points into eddies along the sides. And so the main flow will come right down the center, and then people will be getting their mead sort of right down the center, and then they sort of peel off to both sides and fill back in this way. So it's going to be pretty nice. But that's we're not going to get the grand opening that we wanted to have. We're not going to, not until next year, most likely. But that's okay, because that gives us a lot of businesses, you only want to do so much soft opening to try to train everyone, get everything running. But we're forced into soft opening for
Super
who
soft.
knows how long. Yeah. So it's you can complain about that, or you can be all right, well, this gives us a lot of opportunity to really refine our process, make sure the customer service is top number one thing, so on and so forth. So it's kind of a good way. There's, like I said, you can get angry about things, or you can try to see the better side and utilize the positive of it. I wouldn't have been able to put as much time into this space as I was able to, because all of our events got canceled. Usually April and May are some of our busiest months for doing events and going out and doing tastings and all that fun stuff. Renaissance festivals, all of that. But without those, we were able to spend a whole lot more time in here and be able to do things just the way we wanted to, and not have to rush them, not have to feel like we're under the thumb of really trying to open up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be an experience for those people too, which I think is kind of a cool opportunity, since it's not just hustle and bustle, grand, crazy opening summertime here in Flag. You're going to come in, you're going to have a really unique and personalized experience.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to get history lessons from our bartender while you're in here. We're going to have different kind of fun Viking games and stuff for people to do. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Make it an experience.
So as we sit here, right now it's quiet and empty in here, but pretty soon it'll be people be drinking your mead and enjoying your space. And so what's one thing that you're really excited to see occur here in the Mead Hall?
People.
All right, next question.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited just to be able to see all that stuff again. I feel like if we wouldn't have had to shut down our tap room for the last 2 months or whatever, maybe I would have a different answer. But at this point, I just can't wait to see people's smiling faces. And I think it's, I'm probably, I don't know, full of myself or whatever on one level of it, but I really enjoy, and I guess not always full of myself because the feedback isn't always good. Sometimes people don't like something, especially if it's their first mead ever. You have to kind of get them to try a bunch of different things to get them to like it. But I think that's what I miss the most, and what I'm most excited to see again is the introducing new people to it. It's just like you introduce a lot of new folks to the Grand Canyon and stuff like that, right? And I was just listening to your other podcast and you were talking about it. And
oh, you mean the Canyon Brats?
I do mean the Canyon Brats. Canyon Brats.
Found on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcast.
Boom, plugged. And just being able to show people that new experience, being able to take something that you love, that you're passionate about, that you know about, and being able to share that with others, it almost gives you that same feeling of when you first discovered it. It's totally just for me. I want to show everybody this new thing because I enjoy the feeling of showing people this new, super old, super new, extra tasty beverage, So I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
And we're going to get so much walk-in traffic now. Previously at our other location, you had to want to get out there. And we were still able to pack that tap room. But you didn't have anybody that was not specifically looking for it, finding it.
Yeah.
And so this location is the opposite of that.
Yeah. I think we could say they're gonna stumble in.
Yes.
And then they're gonna stumble out.
Right. Just stumble around while they're in here too.
This is so unique in my mind, because being in the craft beer scene, I would go to places specifically mapping out a brewery tour. And I never once stumbled across a meadery amidst my walkabout, if you will. And that's going to happen now in Flagstaff. And that is kick-ass, that people are going to be looking on their phones and like looking for, whatever, bars, restaurants, breweries, and they're going to see the Mead Hall. And they're going to, come experience something that they haven't before. And I mean, I'm not going to try to restate what you said. You said it perfectly, but sharing that experience is something that's going to be one of the cooler things for you, for Kelly, for the family, and everyone that's been a part of this, to share it on a much more extreme level. Sure, it happened at the Meadery, but these are people that literally walked by and walked in not knowing what the hell they were in for.
Right. And can you imagine that feeling walking into this place not knowing what it is?
Yeah.
You're going to be like, where am I?
It would be, I kind of wish I would have that experience.
I got a frying pan in the back. If you hit me hard enough with it, it'll be like walking in here and never having seen it before.
I'm not hitting you with it, but you can hit me with it.
Maybe we just at the same time.
Yeah, wake up, be like, dude, bro.
I won't even really be like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, too hard.
Yeah, because you walk in, and it's going to be different than most anything people have seen. I mean, there will be a few people who have gone to mead halls.
I've seen something just like this.
Yeah?
In video games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talked about that in episode 1 about the inspiration of it. And people are going to walk into video games. Maybe some people will be looking for coins above their head and trying to jump up and grab. Well, right. I guess video games aren't really like that anymore.
No, it's different.
You don't jump up and like grab a coin.
Those are the classics.
Yeah.
Those are good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be a lot like my experience when I first went to Denver. Not when I first went to Denver, but I went to Denver and first experienced True Brewing. It's a very dark, gothic, heavy metal kind of experience. And like, even though that's not really my jam, I walked in and I was like, yeah, this is going to be an experience. And right. I think that's kind of, on a slightly lower key than that. This is going to be that experience that people are going to walk in and be drawn into.
Absolutely. And then they get to come in here and they're going to drink mead out of a horn for the very first time and have a big old turkey leg with it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we talked about Proper right next door, but
they got the turkey legs over there.
I think this is actually a really cool and very efficient way that you guys are planning on doing this. How are people going to get food here at the Mead Hall?
We're actually going to have a kiosk from Proper set up in here, so you can just walk up to the kiosk, tippity tap onto the kiosk, put your order in, pay for it, and then they run it right over to you. So nice. It's real nice and easy, real simple, real low pressure kind of situation. I'm really excited for it. And it's great for us because having food is hard.
Yeah.
So this gives us the ability to feed people and help your experience be that much better, and at the same time not have to have a giant dish pit.
Yeah, stay away from that food.
Oh man, it's tough, dude. Food business. Alcohol's tough, but food business would be like crazy tough.
Yeah. I like that. I like it a lot. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about for the Mead Hall right now for this third episode? I know we're going to have a fourth.
I think we're going to have a fourth. It's just so crazy too. And I think it's really interesting too to see just like, we know so little about what we're going to be able to do or doing even a week from now. And so it's a play-by-play. Play-by-play. By the time this comes out, who knows what will have happened.
Right?
Goodness gracious.
Cool. But it is out, and you guys are listening to it, and we thank you for that, or you're watching it on YouTube. Thank you for listening to the Meadcast again. We're going to bring you more and more cool stuff, not only about our mead and the Meadery and the now Mead Hall, but also about, mead history. We're going to have more episodes with Hallbjorn, our Viking. He's been, really like digging into some of the history of Norse mythology and also actually Norse culture. So
I think we should call him Professor Viking.
Professor Viking.
Professor Hallbjorn.
Yeah. If you guys have any ideas or thoughts behind that, go ahead and hit us up under the comments at Drinking Horn, Instagram or Facebook. Yeah. So, well, thanks, Evan. Oh, by the way, you're Evan.
Hey, and you're Nick.
Yeah, and this is the Meadcast.
Meadcast.
Sweet. Skull, man.
Skull.
Cool. All right, let's get back to work.
All right.